Hey there, and welcome to my channel. I'm Kathlyn, and as a transition strategist, I help women, primarily high-performing Black women, navigate life and career transitions without unnecessary chaos, so you can align your life and career with your values. And sometimes the unnecessary chaos happens when we don't take time to rest, when we don't plan for rest. Have you ever felt guilty for resting or taking time off? Do you ever feel like you have to earn rest? Do you worry about getting everything on your to-do list done if you take a break? Or do you worry that if you rest, you're going to fall behind? Well, if you said yes to any of those, then this video is for you. I'm going to share how you can plan rest into your busy schedule without guilt. Have you ever felt guilty for taking time off? I think there are two types of people: those who celebrate their birthday for an entire week or a month, and those that don't. And for me, my birthday week has always been a sacred week for me. Non-negotiable, time off. In the words of Destiny's Child, it's your birthday, you don't have to do nothing. But on my first solo business owner, I wondered if I would be able to take the time off. And for the first time in I don't know how long, I felt guilty for even wanting to take time off, take time away. My birthday was right after I had launched something new in my business, and I didn't think it was the right time. Full disclosure, in the future, I'm going to avoid launching anything in May because it's just such a busy month for a lot of people, including myself. But lesson learned. But in this transition from being an employee to being self-employed, I felt a lot of guilt around resting because for me, it's like if I don't do the work, then who else will? Nobody. And that was a guilt that I did not feel when I was an employee. But whether you work for yourself or not, rest is not a reward, it's a requirement. Our minds and our bodies need rest, and we are becoming more and more overstimulated in general. So before I get into some practical ways to build rest into your schedule, I want to share a few mindset shifts that have helped me release guilt around taking rest and actually honor the rest that your mind and body need. These shifts make it easier not just to schedule rest, but also to protect it. So the first mindset shift is go from thinking that rest is procrastination or laziness to believing that rest is preparation. When we're in high performing, high achieving mode, it's really easy to think that rest is something that's going to slow down the work or delay us. But really, taking rest is what fuels the work. You don't fall behind when you take a break or when you rest. You're actually setting yourself up to show up more fully. Another mindset shift is go from the idea of I'll rest when I'm done to rest deserves time on my calendar. A lot of us treat rest as something that can only happen after we've gotten the work done. I know that used to be me. Get your work done first, and then you can take a break. But there's always something else to do. And so sometimes if we wait until we're done, done never comes. But if you plan rest, it will happen. If you don't plan rest first, then it won't happen. And the third mindset shift is to go from thinking I need to push through to I need to protect my capacity and my energy. Because we talk a lot about maximizing productivity, but we rarely talk about protecting our capacity and our energy. And the goal isn't to get back at full speed as fast as possible after resting. The goal is to be well enough to sustain the life and work that you're building long term. So I have three ways that you can schedule rest into your schedule without guilt. First things first, use your PTO. If you accrue time off, you've already worked for it. So use it. Don't let it go to waste. And if you have unlimited PTO, trust, I know it can sometimes feel harder to take time off. I've had unlimited PTO, and to me, unlimited PTO is not a scam. It just means that you don't have to accrue the time off. And I know that sometimes it takes more effort to prepare to take the time off because sometimes you have to find someone who can be your out of office contacts and get them up to speed. And if you work with clients, you have to make sure that the clients know who they can reach out to and just kind of just get everybody up to speed on your way of working, right? Or sometimes, that means you have to do extra work just so that when you come back, you're not coming back to more work than, if you hadn't taken that time off. So I know that it can be easy to think that that effort it takes to prepare to take time off isn't worth it, but trust me, you are worth it. You are worth taking time for yourself. You're not saving lives unless you do work in a life-saving field, but even doctors take time off. And the same goes for business owners. Like, you are in charge, you call the shots. Take the time off. A second tip is to block out times on your calendar for meals, for walks, and for other real breaks during the day. So I block out time on my calendar for lunch, and I block out another time for an afternoon walk. And it's so easy for me to get caught up in work that I'll lose track of time. And next thing I know, it's 4 p.m. and I haven't had lunch. So that's why I make sure to put lunch on my calendar almost as a reminder. And when I worked in corporate, I did the same thing. I was good for putting a fake meeting on my calendar. I would block out time in the morning so that no one scheduled a meeting at 9 a.m. Um, I also blocked out time for walks, and I also blocked out focus time because how else was I going to get work done if I was in meetings all day? And now some of you might not have the same flexibility or calendars. I recognize that. But maybe suggest to your manager or to your team that you have a, no meetings day as a team or focus days. Like, I've worked at an ad agency years ago, and one of the teams that I supported 4 different clients. One of the teams that I was on had no meetings on Wednesdays, and then another team had no meetings on Fridays. And for me now, I can't do meetings on Mondays. I need to be able to ease into the week unless it's absolutely necessary. But at a minimum, I block out lunch and I block out a 20-minute walk. So block out that time on your calendar, put a meeting on there, make it private, or just make it say busy if you have shared calendars. And then the third tip is set a weekly rest window, a 12 to 24-hour window, non-negotiable, where you rest. So for me right now, it's 7 p.m. Friday to 7 p.m. Saturday with no exceptions. Well, there might be some exceptions depending on what's going on that week. But during that rest window, I'm not thinking about any responsibilities. I'm not running any errands. I'm not strategizing. I'm not planning. I am resting. And sometimes that means watching TV all day and becoming one with the couch. Other times that means, exploring a different neighborhood or just going somewhere without a plan or schedule. And for me, that 24-hour window, my rest window, it's like a factory reset for my brain. But if a 24-hour window isn't possible for you, start with 4 hours and then build up to 8 hours and then 12 hours until you can carve out that non-negotiable 24 hours. And, be sure to tell people in your life, like, this is non-negotiable for me. These are the hours that I rest. And like I said, there are some times where, I'll be a little bit flexible. And that just means that I shift my rest window to another day. So if I can't do 7 p.m. Friday to 7 p.m. Saturday, I might shift it to all day Sunday or Saturday evening to Sunday evening, something like that. So those are just 3 ways to plan rest into your busy schedule without guilt. 3 ways to prioritize rest into your life. And I encourage you to incorporate at least one of them this week. Start by blocking out time for lunch. Start by, blocking out a 20-minute walk. Or look at upcoming holidays and use your PTO. Add another day before or after a holiday. And what will your rest window be? Maybe it will be all day Sunday, or maybe it will be Saturday evening into Sunday evening. And you can always change your rest window if you need to. Like, mine actually used to be Saturday evenings into Sunday, but because I used to go out after work on Fridays and run my errands on Saturday mornings, that worked for me. But like I said, now it's 7 p.m. Friday to 7 p.m. Saturday. Sometimes it changes, but for the most part, Friday evening to Saturday evening, do not disturb. And now I want to hear from you. So what's one way that you're going to plan rest into your busy schedule? Are you going to use your PTO? Are you going to create your non-negotiable rest window? Are you going to block out lunch on your calendar? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to dive a little bit deeper into this topic, I wrote a blog and I will link that below. Thanks for watching. See you soon.